Britain is facing a crisis. The government's failure to control illegal immigration is fueling frustration across the nation. Sir Edward Leigh MP takes on the issue head-on, calling for decisive action, tougher laws, and real consequences for those who exploit the system. But under Keir Starmer's Labour government, will Britain ever regain control of its borders? Watch the video and judge for yourselves.
This is an absolutely vital issue. The inability as a country to control these people smugglers is utterly debilitating to the political process and is causing tremendous unhappiness and angst in our nation. And we can throw brickbats across the House and blame each other, what minister is responsible or not. But unless we solve this problem together, we are simply feeding a vast populist movement that could be intensely damaging to both the Conservative and Labour parties. So we have to work together to solve it. Experience shows that the only effective deterrent is to detain and deport. And we know that from other countries, from Australia. So I'm not going to get involved in Rwanda is right or not, or how many were exported on. I just want to make that point. And we have to. Now let me illustrate, because the devil is in the detail. Article 33 of the Refugee Convention forbids returning refugees to countries where they may be at risk. But it creates a specific exemption for those who claiming refugee status who either pose a danger to the security of the country or have been convicted of a particular serious crime. Therefore, you can export somebody under the Refugee Convention to Afghanistan if they're a criminal. Article 3 of the ECHR is a very sensible and restrained one-sentence article prohibiting torture. However, the European Court has expanded its meaning to interpret it as prohibiting governments returning an individual to a country where they could be subject to inhuman or degrading treatment. So this is a massive extension of Article 3. It's typical of how judges have worked to undermine legitimate government action undertaken by elected representatives. The Refugee Convention was drafted in 1949 in tandem with the ECHR. It's very old. It was never intended that the ECHR would apply to immigration at that time. It was only in the 1980s that judges in the European Court extended it. And in 1996, in Shahal v. the UK, it was held that there was an absolute rule to prevent exporting criminals. What I'm trying to inform the House that the Convention was never intended to apply to immigration. The Refugee Convention applied to it, and under the Refugee Convention, we can export criminals. It's judges who have extended it. If we want to actually stop people coming across the channel, if we want to detain and deport, in the end, we are going to have to grasp this nettle and get out of the ECHR. Now, there is precedent for issuing a temporary derogation, given that we're facing a crisis, and we are. But if that is not heeded, we always have the option to leave the convention altogether and opt out of the Strasbourg court's expansive rulings. That covers the criminals claiming asylum or entering illegally. And when it comes to legal migration, any government must stop subsidising legal arrivals, undercutting existing workers in Britain. Now, the Conservative government, I admit, too late, and I'm very critical of my own government for allowing this mass immigration to this country. From the backbenches, I was constantly raising these points. So I'll end on this point. If we're going to solve this crisis, what we need to do, ultimately, is to get out of the convention, stop the boats, and stop importing low-paid workers legally.